What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we got Ash on the channel. It's been a while. What's up, Ash? How you doing?
Skratch AK-47. I'm doing great, bro. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Guys, we actually just dropped a video on Ash's channel. Make sure you head over and check it out. Today, we're going to discuss Raid, guys. I love talking Raid with Ash, so we're here to kind of like talk about some things that we would like to see changed in the game. And please let us know in the comments down below what things you would like to see changed in the game in terms of QOL changes, maybe dungeon changes, new sort of content, etc. And hopefully, Plarium is only gonna pick 5% out of the feedback, and we're gonna be absolutely happy about all that. Because at the moment, quite a lot of things are happening bad, right? Like for the last few months, I feel like the community kind of like always got slapped back and forward with everything that kind of like got released, the new content pretty hardcore, right? The rewards are not that great, not worth it. Then we had the blessing changes, which again was another slap in the face. So I feel like hopefully they're gonna start bringing a bit of good stuff out as well. I said I'm gonna be very positive this year, you know, so I'm trying to don't be too on it. I'm trying to stay more positive and kind of like have high hopes about it. But what's your take on all this, Ash? Like, what happened recently, you know?
Bro, I also like to be positive, you know, but golly, it does not feel good right now. Huh? It does not feel good, and I said this in a recent video, but if Plarium has anything good, popular, if we're going to be their PR team, hey, share it now. Anything good that's coming, share it now that you think that will go over well in the community, because things don't feel that great right now. It's not just the blessings, and the blessings suck, don't get me wrong, but like, things that have been irritating me for years are starting to become more acute for me, Skratch, in terms of like books. And I know it's like an old, sorry topic, and I just ranted on my collab with you on my channel, so I'll keep it brief. But books not being available, like, it's just so dumb, man. It's so freaking dumb. The most important way to upgrade a champion is like a legendary champion. They give us a free legendary champion. Ultimate Death Knight, fantastic, great champion. Rhonda, good champion for millions, hundreds of thousands of players, right? But then it literally, to get enough books to book out one of those champions, to actually get any utility out of those champions, you need what? A dozen skill tomes, legendary skill tomes? How do you get a dozen legendary skill tomes? There's no mechanisms in this freaking game to do so. That is so irritating to me. And it always will be until they just give us some. You had a great idea on my channel. Just give us a legend. If they're not going to make a way to farm it in the game, give us a legendary skill tome or two a week, dude. Just put it in there. It's not going to cost you a ton of money, Plarium. It's going to keep players actually engaged in spending and playing your game rather than losing them. That's number one, but I have a long line of complaints here, Skratch.
That's good. That's good.
You want to comment on books, or want to just keep going?
Yeah, so it would be nice to add a book right here. Complete all weekly quests, bang. A legendary skill tome, an epic skill tome, get a void shard, get an ancient shard, and call it a day. Do that weekly.
That's it.
And it's not a lot, right? Like, people will
and
get
it would
excited.
Still take you 3 months to book a champion.
Yeah,
but they gave you a free one.
But people will be happy, right? Like, people will get excited.
Yes.
Weekly reset. Yes, I got my weekly reset rewards. Awesome. I have a void shard. I have a legendary skill tome. Okay, I'm gonna save my skill tome from that freaking Death Knight that I just got, because he's amazing, right? So I feel like that's one thing that that should change. My main concern coming to the game now is that the new content is coming as well, right? So we've seen Live Arena is near the corner. That's gonna be a pretty long sort of a thing, right? Like, you're gonna have quite a few fights to do a day, most probably. They're gonna take quite a bit of time. I just hope they're not gonna lock any quests behind it, like advanced quests or anything like that. Or if they do it, to make it worth in terms of rewards. Like,
I was gonna say, that's a good place to put it, as long as everybody can do it, not just not just whales. Good place to put some of those legendary skill tomes, you know?
Absolutely.
Basically, if you're Plarium, anything that you're unhappy with how much players are doing, like a tag team arena, I don't know what it is, like, just put better rewards there. It's a good spot to just kind of slot them in, you know? I don't know, it might not be the best solution, but just to your point, new feature, awesome. More time, not so awesome. Give us some tomes. I mean, God, it's not that tough, you know?
Absolutely. Like, I just hope they're not gonna do the same thing like the tag team arena. If they're gonna do tiers, most probably they're gonna do some sort of tiers. But I just hope if they're gonna create a reward system that's similar with the shop, with the bazaar or the clan shop, I just hope they're not gonna lock it behind tiers. Like, It's such a bummer to see that in Tag Team Arena you're locked in behind by tiers when you're coming at the bazaar. Like, I know most of the games do it like this, like pretty much all the games do it like this, but it's just such a bummer considering the economy of the game in terms of how many things you can actually accumulate in terms of books, shards, etc. And it's so minimal, right? I feel like it's a no-brainer to remove the tier locking here, because what? How many people will actually afford to purchase one Sacred Shard a month, even if they remove the tiers? Not many, because you need 30,000 gold bars, and if you're in very low tiers, it's pretty hard for you to get it. You're engaging in long fights, but some people will get the incentive to be like, you know what? I cannot buy it every month, but hey, I'm gonna be able to buy it every 2 months, so I'm gonna go and do more 3v3 arena now. So that would be a good thing for them to actually change, like drop the tier from here. That will make a massive difference in my opinion.
I started YouTube 9 years ago, Skratch, playing, covering Clash of Clans, right? So Clash of Clans is a game that, for those of you who haven't played, it's a grindy ass game, right? A. And B, it's kind of pay to win, right? You can pay money to progress a ton, way more than it would take you to just put the time in.
Yeah.
However, the cool thing about Clash is, and it's always been this way, is that there is a mechanism where if you wanted to sit there and play for 8 hours a day, you could get to the very end game. Like, you could get there, right? Just by putting in the time. But Raid Shadow Legends, they put in implementations so you can't do it. If you don't want to spend, there's no way you can do it. If I want to sit there and grind Tag Team Arena to farm legendary skill tomes all day, I can't do it because I'm limited by my token refills or whatever, you know? There's nothing in this game that just gives players an option, even if they want to spend an inordinate amount of time grinding something, you know? There's not that feature in the game, you know? Everything's based on finite resources that cost more money, energy, tokens, whatever, you know? So that, to me, is the inherent flaw that really must murder their player retention over time, which is why Plarium spends millions and millions of dollars marketing their game, but their player retention over the course of a year must be pretty low because there's no viable way to keep players engaged without spending money once they hit that kind of paywall, you know? And that fundamental kind of aspect of Raid is what bothers me the most, you know? Like, there ought to be a way for everybody to achieve everything without spending, even if it has to be a grind and it takes them a long time, you know? But there ought to be a way there's no paywall there, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does make sense. I know exactly what you mean. I actually tried quite a few of other games out there, and a lot of times I feel like blocked instantly, and I'm like, damn it, I can't complete this unless I'm throwing some dollars at it. And in a way, I agree with you on this with Raid, but in a way, I don't, because it's a long marathon. You know, this is a long marathon, and I feel like free to play, you would be able to achieve pretty much everything in Raid. You would be able even to hit Platinum Arena on reset. Probably not top 100, not top 50, but I think if you're putting in a lot of time, you will be able to do it. But then, coming back to what you said, I do agree that you can't stay and play it 8 hours a day and do the same thing, because it costs money. So from this perspective, yeah, like Tag Team Arena, I'm gonna buy for the first refill 15 gems. Maybe I'm gonna stretch out and buy the second 40 more gems. That's 55 gems a day for Tag Team Arena. And yeah, you're not getting back 55 gems a day, you know? That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, having played also a lot of games, it just seems different in Raid in the sense where, like, there's too many. Perhaps it's not an issue of, like, if I play for 4 years and I don't spend money, maybe I could have a decent account, sure.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if that same player who's played for 3 years suddenly just dropped a few $100s, it would make, like, an exponential difference on their account, because it's just so, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm belaboring the point here, but to me, it really has to do with not just the fact that, sure, you can pay a little bit of money and gain a massive advantage in the game. That's nothing foreign to any mobile game. But for me, in the gacha category, especially in Raid, the frustrating thing is again, there's no way to get a lot of these resources other than spending. Like, that is the biggest thing, you know? Like, how can a free-to-play player book out all their legendaries that they're even given? Like, you know, I made this point earlier, but, like, you know, we got Vizix, we got Silda Drakes, we got, you know, Rhonda in Ultimate Death Knight and Ninja, Alexander the Great, Deliana. Like, how can a player book out all those champions if someone is not spending? They're all free champions, but how can you upgrade them, you know? How can you get 100 legendary skill tomes, you know?
Is an extremely long and painful grind, and honestly,
Because so I don't want to ever be in that. Yeah,
I'm actually curious as well now, right? Like how, as a free-to-play, like you start free-to-play the game, you're doing Ultra Nightmare. Let's just say you're bidding pretty much most of the content that gives you books, right? To get 100 books, man, I feel like you need over 1 year, even with good RNG, to get 100 books. Like, please let us know in the comments down below, guys.
Yeah,
a lot of you guys are free to play. I haven't
We're
played.
disqualified, so you tell us, guys. You tell us how hard, or am I wrong? You know, I don't know. Maybe it only takes a couple months to get 100 books, but that's not my experience. You know what I'm saying?
I know, like I don't think so. Like I feel like you might need over a year. I might be wrong. I haven't played for a full year as free to play, so it's hard to say it, and I wouldn't keep the count. But a lot of you guys out there might have a better understanding a bit on how many books you're getting, the RNG. And I feel like this is one of those games where you can come new to the game, drop a few $100 and get zero return. Because it's so much RNG in the gear, in the shards, in the soul stones, in everything is RNG. Like, and they're just bringing RNG on top of RNG. And a lot of times people drop a few $100 and it's literally like dust, you know, like it didn't happen. Maybe on brand new accounts, it will be a bit different because most of the things will be an upgrade, but once you are going to a certain passing a certain point, you're dropping hundreds of dollars, and a lot of times it can be like zero investment, you know, like you just, the money disappeared and you ended up with having literally nothing, and it's like, wow, you know. And people are going for it all the time. That's the that's the fun part. I would like
Dude,
to,
I'm telling you, bro.
Go on, sorry.
No, I'm telling you, man, like I'm trying to look at this from a business perspective, from Plarium's point of view as well, because I don't want to just say, hey, give us all this stuff, you know, like they still need to make the same amount of money, keep the investors happy, all this other stuff. I understand, right? But at the end of the day, too, it's like my gut tells me, and it might seem counterintuitive, but my gut tells me if they made this new tower in a new dungeon, that, or let's say Doom Tower 2.0, another Doom Tower, but all they did was make, you know, the rewards a lot more compelling, you know, like sacred shards, legendary skill tomes on everything, even if it's challenging content, you know, but just give us a ton of great rewards. And this goes for everything, right? Like everything is too expensive, not money, but I'm talking about the economy of the game, right? I feel like it would actually benefit them long term. You know, players would play longer, they would be re-engaged, they would feel like they're actually getting something for their time and or money. But man, like the Iron Twins and the cost for soul stones, dude, with no mercy and no guarantee you're gonna get any sort of champions that you even have, dude, to me it is whacked. It's whacked. And I get that it's supposed to be end game content, just so I'm not being unfair here too. Like I don't have any problem with the Ascension and Sand Devils. Like I have no problem with how they did that. I think that sure there's downsides, but like the rewards seem to me like fair, you know, for end game content. But blessings, and then they're nerfing the best blessings, dude. Like, oh my word. Don't even get me started. Iron Twins is not even really worth farming, bro. Like, you know, like it's hard. Like the rewards suck so bad, you know? So Hydra Clan Boss, same thing. I mean, Stone Skin's great. Don't get me wrong. But how about a buff to protection or a rework? And then how about, you know, dropping us good soul stones or a lot of them, you know, or something, legendary skill tomes, you know, like the rewards just aren't there to me anymore with the new content they're putting out. Sorry, I feel like I'm going on these long tirades here.
I feel you. Like Stone Skin is amazing, is amazing as a set, regardless where you are in the game, right? Protection is not that powerful, it's decent, but the main thing that is literally mind-blowing for me is that if you go to the normal chest and you go at warrior chest, drop info, 1 to 2 soul stones, right? Then you go all the way to the hardest difficulty, four difficulties away, 3 difficulties away, the Grandmaster chest, it's 36 million. Mortal soul stones, 1 to 3. You know, like dude. This should definitely be like the next version of the stones. I feel like they really failed with this thing as well when they added the reward, because it's not like giving a lot away, because it's how you mentioned, there's no mercy system. It's so hard to get soul stones, guys, to get the right souls. Trust me when I'm telling you, it's harder to get the right soul for the right champion than getting the actual champion, because you're getting less soul stones as rewards from playing the game, Then you have no mercy system, no 10x chances, which are not amazing by any means, but at least it's increasing the chance to get the legendary better than getting the soul stone, the soul for the champion, you know.
Totally agree, man. I totally agree. It's just, and now they've dug themselves a hole to the extent of they set this economy. It's hard, it's difficult to change the price or change how soul stones work. The only solution to me is just make more of them available, you know, like that's it. And maybe don't charge what, $100 for 2 or 3 of the highest rarity. It's crazy. And then you end up, dude, I'm ashamed to say that I bought the highest offer of the highest soul stones, and dude, I walked away with like 3 epics, you know, that I don't use. And it's like, wow, that was the dumbest $100 I've ever spent in my entire life, you know? It just, nothing feels worse than that, man. I don't care. The cost of sacreds, the cost of everything else, but that's robbery, bro. That's a robbery.
You know,
so, man, I wish they would just make them available in more places and entice us to play different areas of the game. I feel like, you know, I probably made my point here. I didn't mean to come on and just really rant the whole time.
That's fine. Go on.
You know what I'm saying, dude? It's like, this game's awesome. Plarium, if you're watching this video, you know, we love this game. The community loves this game, but you have to read the tea leaves a little bit and give a little bit back to the community so we can have a healthy ecosystem moving forward, you know?
Absolutely. Like, it's very, very... how I'm saying it, like, if they would allocate 5% of their resources towards the community, man, this would be such a massive win for everyone, you know? Like, the longevity of the players, right? The retention will be there. So many things could be different. Like, this game, if it would have had a good retention, right, to keep the player base, it could have been crazy, man. Like, and I'm not just saying us, because I'm a content creator, and yeah, more views. Yeah, more views are good for us. But just think about it. Instead of having 300k active players a day, you could have 1 or 2 million active players a day, bro. You know, like, only if they would work a bit on the retention, and would make such a massive difference.
It's so true, man. I completely agree. See, you said you weren't going to be negative, but so you brought me on to be negative. I see what you did there, Skratch. I love it, man. I love it.
I worked on that, actually. So my next topic that I kind of like want to cover a bit is going to be a bit the time issue, right? Because we're getting more content. I feel like they definitely need to step up on it. And I see it a lot of times in comments. That's why I'm bringing it up. Like, a lot of you guys are always saying, Skratch, new content, hell, I have no time to play this game anymore. It's taking forever to do the dailies that I already have. I don't want new content, you know? And I definitely get you. I have the time to play it because this is my job, right? I'm at home playing games, doing videos for you guys and stuff like that. If I wouldn't do this, probably I would be in the exact same boat with you guys. I just wouldn't have enough time to play the game to its full potential because it's so much content. So again, I know they mentioned many times that they don't want to create insta battles or anything like that. I would love Plarium to just make insta battle for faction wars. Yes, you added this multi-battle stuff, but I still gotta watch the animations. I don't need to do that. I've done it a million times. You've done it a million times. We wanna insta-click, move over to the new content that's more important, more engaging, and allow us to save 30 minutes a day. Go to clan boss. Everybody has full auto teams, and most of the people. Don't generalize the whole thing. Most of the people will have an auto team, right? Let us just go, click on it, instant complete the fight. That saves you 15-20 minutes a day just by skipping clan boss like that. Like, I've been playing for 4 years. You've been playing for 4 years. You guys out there have been playing for months or years or weeks or days. And you're already tired of seeing the clan boss doing the same thing over and over, you know? This would be a massive boost for everybody, you know? Like, the player retention will become much better because of just improving the time issue in the game, I think.
Dude, it's so simple, man. I mean, I don't have a lot to add other than I agree with you. They don't have to do it everywhere in the game, to your point, you know? They can just make it maybe a couple different areas. Other games have this. Other gacha games have this, right? Where it's so simple, right? Once you do a certain thing, so like once you one key Ultra Nightmare, you're given an instant Ultra Nightmare. You don't have to keep doing it every day for a half an hour, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that's easy to do, you know? It's easy. Like, you know, you have to grind to get there, but then once you get somewhere, once you can clear a level 25 dungeon, once, or 3-star or whatever you want it, like whatever mechanic you want to put in there to make sure that, oh, you're an expert at this particular element of the game. You can do it every day. Well, now we're not going to take that time away from you. You can use your time, to your point, on the new stuff we got going on, the live PvP, Hydra Clan boss, whatever it is, Sand Devils. You can use your time on areas that are more exciting to you, not have to watch your screen for 40 minutes to complete a couple battles,
I definitely agree, and I feel like there are some dungeons where they could do the insta battles too. Even if you don't need to allow me to do 1,000 a day. I don't need that. I mean, probably I'm gonna do sometimes hundreds on a specific dungeon. But if you're going at the arcane keeps, right? All these keeps, you have the Sand Devil's Necropolis. Let us do 50 fights a day instant, 20 fights a day instant. You don't need to make them unlimited. Just a few, so every player will have a chance to, okay, I gotta farm quick some potions. I have my team done. He's gonna farm it anyway in 20, 30, 60 seconds. But you know what? I want to do something else while I'm doing it. So let me just instantly complete that, or let me add an option, because I've seen this in other games and it's actually awesome stuff. Like, I'm able to go in and click on the Ice Golems dungeon, right? And I can select my multi-battles. They go in the background, so I'm now watching it. And while that goes in the background, I can go and do arena. So the game...
allows you to do two things.
It allows you to do two things, and it's just an amazing feature. I can't even remember in what games I've seen it. Probably was Infinite Magic Raid, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a copy-paste of Raid, just with a lot of QOL things added to it. I think that's the game, if I'm not mistaken. But it's an amazing feature,
And they have already, like, first of all, they've added a lot of good stuff, right? Like the auto climb is cool for Doom Tower. Instant artifact upgrades are amazing.
Oh man, that's the best.
That is something that's very similar to an instant dungeon clear, right? It just saves time that's unnecessary. I don't need to see the upgrade animation 150 times, just let me do it, and I spend my resources. Silver, the same amount of silver is being used either way. Whether I'm sitting there and staring at it for 5 minutes or whether I'm instant clicking it, same thing with the dungeon. Same amount of energy is being spent either way. So if I want to do more, I'm going to have to buy energy, right? So it's not going to ruin their bottom line at all. It's going to give players more time to do other stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it, I
think with the board that they're having there of investors, I think like this is the main thing that they're showing to them. Look, our players are playing this game nonstop. I feel like that's... But instead of doing that, couldn't they just go and look? We just got 1 million new players, 900k players. They stayed and played the game 2 weeks later. Isn't it better if they showed that to the investors? Maybe, I don't know. Like,
I have a feeling that if to your point, if they added like a little bit, if they changed a little bit of what we're talking about today, I have a feeling it would go so far in this community. All we need is some good news and to hear. To let us know our voices are being heard, as a player base, because it's not just me and you talking. We're also echoing what we hear and see in the comments and Reddit, social media every single day, So we're doing this. We're saying all this stuff because we care, and we hope that they do too,
Absolutely. Like I'm saying it from what I'm seeing in the comments. Like whenever I put a video on something, because we're always going to the comments. I'm sure you're the same, and it's pretty much what you see from other people kind of like commenting, this, that. And yeah, hopefully they're gonna care a bit about it, and slowly, hopefully we're gonna see some improvement, some positive things this year, some good changes that are hopefully in the making, because the last few things that kind of dropped, they weren't received very well by the community. And at the end of the day, how you said, we love the game. We want to see people sticking around, liking the game as well, playing it, and kind of like not to have to always talk about these topics. But coming over to the next topic, which is the Guardian Ring, and it's been what, over 1 year since the dupe system? I feel like maybe 1 year and a half by now, or around there. And
time flies, man. Yeah.
They said about champions coming to the token trader, and I feel like they completely forgot about it. They added these 6 average champions. Let me put it like that. Sir Nicholas is great. Tombhlord is great. Foley can do some job. Fushan is great in specific areas. This shop needs to have a monthly refresh, a weekly refresh. Just allowed to be different champions. And I know this doesn't affect the average Joe because it's so hard to get the champions. The cost is extremely high. But still, they are the endgame players as well that need to see positive changes in the game, kind of to create a a good balance in the game, to have a good environment for every player, you know. And I feel like the Guardian Ring is one of the things that definitely needs to be a bit adjusted as well, you know, because I feel like they forgot about it, you know.
Me too, man. I mean, like, listen, Guardian Ring, to your point, it's not the number one request that I see either, but it's at the same time, how low of a lift is it to add a refresh button, you know? That's it. Like, I'm not trying to, because some people might be saving for a Molly tank card or something like that, right?
You want to have the refresh,
Yeah, so just give us a refresh. Maybe we can only use, to your point, one a month or whatever, right? But it refreshes. Maybe you only have 30 or 40 champions in the pool, but, you know, is that difficult to add? And it's just going to give people something else to kind of go for on their account. Go for a champion that makes the most sense to them, you know, what they need on their account, you know? So, I don't know. I agree with you 100%. You know, why not? And you know, while we're at it, let's buff all the Doom Tower champions too.
Absolutely. Like that's
I know that has nothing to do with the Guardian Ring at all, but that's my number 2 pet peeve. It's like, come on, bro. We have to play for 2 years to get crappy champions. Come on.
I'm so happy. Like, I think we covered it in the new video, right, as well. Like, I'm happy that they finally removed the champions from there. And the next thing that I'm happy as well, because I've seen a bit of backlash about it, is the daily login rewards. I'm happy that they removed the champions from here as well, because I've been playing, I can't even remember how many days, right? Like, I've been playing 1,000 days, okay? I do not want to get a bad champion that is going to sit in my vault. And it's not just me. If you guys think that Skratch is just you because you're a whale, no, it's not just me.
I say Gerda Bogbrew is a bad champion, bro.
By the time you're going to get to 1,000 days, you're going to be in the exact same situation. Regarding if you're spending or you're not spending, in 1,000 days, I can guarantee you that as free-to-play, you're going to complete all the content. And the champions that are being added these as daily logins are just not relevant. I do love
you're saying that after 3 years you can't use C's, bro?
I mean, yeah, I cannot use C's after 3 years.
I'm joking, man. I'm
I know.
I agree.
I know you're being sarcastic.
Nothing against C's. He's a great champion, but to your point, it's where you are after years and years of locking in where you get these champions. Same thing with Secret Rooms in Doom Tower. Those champions, after 40, I mean, maybe if you give somebody, I don't know, Varl the Destroyer on their 3rd month playing, or, you know, even after a year playing, maybe that's good. Maybe they could use them, but not after 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
anyway,
I do love the 7-day login champions. You know, all these events that how we had UDK, Ninja, Ronda.
The best.
I feel like they're doing an amazing job with that, and looking forward to the next one, which probably is gonna be in the next 1 or 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ronda is coming to an end like in 10 days, no? So
28th. Yeah, so
definitely looking forward to the next free champion, guys. Stay tuned for it. But these are a few things that are kind of like, I think like Plarium needs to work a bit on them. Of course, Iron Twins a bit buff the rewards, the Soul Stones, like how we mentioned it. The time is gonna be a bit of an issue, especially that it's quite a bit of new content planned for this year, guys. You've seen the new dungeon, new dungeons. Dungeon levels or difficulty, and it's gonna be pretty hardcore. So I really hope they're gonna reconsider a bit the whole way of, no, we're not doing instant battles or anything like that, and hopefully they're gonna add them. It's gonna be a massive improvement for everybody. People are gonna enjoy the game a bit more and stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys head over and check Ash's channel as well. We dropped a video there as well. Please let us know in the comments down below if you want to add anything to it, what other things you would like to see changed. Of course, there are tons of other QOL changes that they could improve the game. Hopefully, down the line, they're gonna introduce more of those as well. Ash, was a pleasure to have you on the channel. If you wanna say anything else at all, now is the time, baby.
I want to say I love you, bro. I love you, man. No,
love
dude,
you too, baby.
Have me on. It's always a pleasure, bro. Love talking raid with you. And again, fingers crossed. I'm hopeful that we get some good news here sometime in the future. But thanks for having me on, bro. Again, always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Peace, guys.